'Cause I've been up for 4 nights, living like a low life. I don't even know who I am anymore. Driving through the red lights, couldn't read your stop signs, yelling at my face and you slamming the door. We blame it on you.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. We are currently wrapping up the last longish runs that we have on this taper. We have an easy 10-miler today, and I tried to get out here during the heat of the day because we started our training for a 100-mile race back in December. So a majority of our training has been in the cooler months, and the high for the day of the race, Chief Ladiga, it was 92 at one point, but I think it fell back to 90, but that's still way harder than we're used to running in. So I'm trying to get out here to get some heat exposure, because with my scheduling, a lot of my runs recently have been at night. There's still no avoiding the humidity at night, but yeah, hopefully the heat on race day doesn't bring any more new adversity. I'm sure it will. Who knows what's going to happen, but I will put on the screen what the rest of my training is going to look like on the days leading up to the race. But yeah, we're gonna knock out this 10-miler. But luckily, from what I've read, most of the course has a lot of tree coverage, so a majority of the course will be in the shade, but this heat is no joke. Also, luckily we got the Nike Invincible runs in early enough to give them a nice break-in period after this 10-mile run today. I think they're a little over 50 miles in. But yeah, we finished that run. Now we're gonna head in the gym, get a shower, and me and Allie are gonna go see a movie.
All right, so we're about to go see Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Allie is in a bad mood. The car was almost out of gas as I was on that run for an hour and a half, so she sat in the hot car because she's just the most greatest and supportive girlfriend. But we came to see this movie a week or two ago, and we were sitting in the very front row and we were breaking our necks watching the movie, and I got a little motion sickness, so we left after 30 to 40 minutes. So I've heard a lot of praise about this movie from podcasts that I listen to, saying that this should be on the rank or in the list of greatest movies of all time.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And you know, I left the theater and I thought to myself, is that the best movie of all time? Like I had that thought, and then, you know, I looked at online and what people were saying, and I'm not alone. Like there are a lot of people that are like, that is the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
So I'm trying to go into this movie with an open mind, and hopefully it's as good as I've heard about it. But yeah, you got anything to say?
I'm just here for the popcorn.
She's just here for the popcorn, but we will give you a movie review in 3, 2, 1. Okay, movie review coming. The battery is about to die on this camera. All right, let's get it.
I think it was great. I nearly cried a little bit, but it was weird.
It was a very, very, very weird movie, but it was definitely like very sad. The last like 40 minutes of it, we both almost cried. Like if I wanted to cry, I could have, but I'm a man. So I I suppressed those emotions.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, that movie was very good. I wouldn't know about listing it on the best movies of all time. I'm not a movie connoisseur.
Very different.
It was very different. It's very good. I would definitely recommend going to see it. If you can read, there were some parts in there with subtitles that Allie just had a hard time reading.
Okay, so it is the next day. We are out here again during the heat of the day, getting in an easy 5-mile run, and we have a few errands to run after this in Huntsville. I've already taken care of a couple of them, but I'll take you along with me for the rest of them. But yeah, gonna get this 5-miler done, and then there's only 2 more runs left until race day.
All right, so we just finished that easy 5-mile run. It's already to the point, well, it obviously could be much harder than it is, but it's to that point to where if you have the opportunity to run through sprinklers, then you take that opportunity. But now we're gonna go and head to REI to pick up some nutrition for the race. Luckily, I already had a lot of nutrition left over from the Devil's Racetrack because we had just a ton of nutrition left over. So luckily we don't have to get too much. And yeah, that's where we're heading now.
Hayden sucks.
Okay, so we picked up the goose from RI. REI. And we also got Allie some crystal because, I don't know, she wanted some crystals. Is this okay with you?
Yeah.
You got 12 of them?
I'm splitting it.
Here, she's splitting it with my mom. And also, my package from Tailwind came in. We have 100 servings of Tailwind now, so surely, I mean, that'll be way more than we need for the race. We got everything situated, but I haven't ate yet today. We just got done with that 5-mile run, running errands. Now I'm going to be going to McDonald's to pick up like $30 worth of McDonald's to do this challenge, this food challenge. I'll get into more into that in a second. But yeah, that's what we're heading now. That's what we're heading now. That's what we're heading to do now.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
All right, so we just picked up the food that we're gonna be using to do this challenge. This challenge is the McDonald's Viral Tweet Challenge. It's a lot of food. It was like, I thought it was gonna be 30 bucks. It was like nearly 40 bucks of food that I have 90 minutes to complete. So I will wrap up this video after I do this challenge. But if you're interested in seeing this challenge, I'm gonna be posting it in the next week or so. So subscribe if you're interested in seeing that. But yeah, I will see you after I get this done. All right, so we finished attempting that McDonald's challenge and that was a mistake. I feel disgusting after it. So we came out here to Heritage Park to walk around a little bit to try to, I guess, flush it out of my system a little more quickly, but we're gonna end the video here talking about learning from my mistakes from Lake Martin 100 because we definitely made some mistakes and we definitely learned from them. So hopefully we don't do the same mistakes at Chief Ladiga. And training for a 100-mile race has been really difficult for me. It's hard to replicate the brokenness you feel during a 100-mile race at miles like 70 to 80 whenever you've ran so far but you still have so far left to go. Like 20 to 30 miles feels even farther than the 70, 80 miles you ran prior whenever you just feel so broken. And I definitely made some mistakes and it's just hard to replicate that brokenness you feel. Like most ultra runners, if you're prepping for a 100-mile race, who usually have a race leading up to the race, a race leading up to the 100-miler, such as like a 50K or a 50-miler or even a 100K, but most people aren't running a 100-miler to prep for a 100-miler, unless you're like one of the elite runners, which I am not. I'm having trouble just running one 100-miler. But some mistakes I made is one, sweating the small things. I let some small things that should not bother me, and going into the race, I know I can put in my head that, hey, don't let the little things bother you. You're preparing for when things go wrong, not if things go wrong. So you should already be prepared for things to go wrong. So don't let it bother you, don't let it stress you out more than it should. And during the race, that happened whenever I myself did not bring enough tailwind with me to last me the entire race, and then I was depending on the aid stations, and then the aid stations ran out of tailwind and I had to switch to Powerade, which, talking about this, that's obviously not a big deal, but for me, I made it a big deal whenever I shouldn't have. I just like knowing exactly how many calories I'm getting per hour. We put 3 scoops of tailwind in my Solomon soft flask, and then I have a goo on top of that, so that's 400 calories every hour. And I just like knowing exactly how many calories I'm getting per hour. It puts my mind at ease a little bit, and then whenever that was disrupted, I let my mind go way off, and that was one of the things that contributed to me calling it quits, and which that's not good. So we already have that covered. We ordered more than enough tailwind that's gonna last me through the entire race, and I'm not really gonna have to depend on the aid stations and what they serve. And number 2 is going to be, what was number 2? One sec. Number 2, it's going to be, I got so ahead of myself at Lake Martin. I ran the first 50 miles in a little over 11 hours. And I was like, bro, we're on pace to break 24 hours. Let's keep this. And to be fair, miles 50 to 60 felt like butter. They were so smooth. They felt amazing. And I pushed myself a little too hard, and that's probably what made me, I mean, it's definitely what made me blow up later on in the race. And I ended up walking the last 10 to 12 miles from mile 60 to 75. And then I ended up calling it quits. I gave myself that long 12 miles of walk to hopefully get a rise out of me and hopefully like get out of that slump I was in, but it just never came. And then that leads us to number 3 lesson we learned, is that I quit. And now, like I mentioned a second ago, like DNFing tasted like shit. I never want to taste that again. Obviously, maybe one day if we have like an injury, then maybe we'll have to DNF again. But just me calling it quits whenever I could have walked the next 10 hours and completed the race, I never want to feel this regret again. So Chief Ladiga, if I have some problems through 50 miles and I have to walk the last 50 miles, I really think I'm going to do that. And it's way easier to say that right now, whenever I'm comfortable and I haven't ran but 5 miles today, it's easy to say that. But again, I'm so passionate about it now, and I have that fire in me that I really, really, really want to see the finish line to end this series. But yeah, those are some mistakes I made. And this even leads me to a question now about pacing for this race. Like, not trying to get ahead of myself like I did at Lake Martin, trying to go sub 24, because Lake Martin had like a little over 14,000 feet of elevation gain and loss, which is so much more than Chief Ladiga has. Chief Ladiga has 3,500 feet of elevation gain and loss during the entire race, which is super, super flat for a 100 miler. Plus it's on a paved path. It's not on trail, so it's gonna be much faster. I want to be able to do the best I can. So I need some tips from you guys on how to pace for this thing. I don't have a pace plan ready at the moment. I'm thinking about doing similar to the Backyard Ultra, running 10 to 13 minute miles for 4 miles and then walking the rest of the hour and doing that until I can't no more. And if we could do that the entire race, then we would definitely complete it in under 24 hours. But if I get to where I can't do that no more, then I can switch to other run walk intervals, from like running for 15 minutes, walking for 5 minutes, or just stuff like that. If you have any suggestions for me, comment down below, because I'm really open-minded to some pace plans. I really need to set a plan instead of just going out there, because it's going to be fast and flat. I'm not going to do anything crazy like 9-minute miles, 10-minute miles, or anything like that. But I still need to have a plan for walking, so I walk early and I walk often. But yeah, give me some suggestions down in the comments. And yeah, we are coming up on race day really quick, and I'm excited to get this over with. We're gonna end this series with a buckle. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.